Hi, Floppycatters. Today I am thrilled to welcome Angela I'm not going to say this right. Ardolino.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Um, she's a visionary founder of CBD Dog Health. As a dedicated advocate for natural pet wellness, Angela has committed herself to enhancing the lives of animals through groundbreaking holistic solutions. We'll be diving into her journey, the unique philosophy behind her products, and how her innovative CBD and mushroom lines are making a profound impact on pets. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You bet.
I don't know if I shared this with you. I didn't really know about you, which now that I've done some research, I'm like, how did I not know about her
And
after?
now you can't get away from me.
Yes. Well, yeah, now my algorithm's like, oh, did you want more? Um, but I was at Global Pet Expo and I was in the Doored Beast booth and I was talking to Julianne Lee about my cat Charlie, who has some feline hyperesthesia and also has a little bit of a head tremor when he has an overhistamine reaction, which most people are like, what? So she said, have you ever tried CBD? And I was like, no. I was like, I just don't trust it. There's like so many on the market. Like, how do you know who to go to? And she's like, oh, just go to Angela. She's one aisle over. And I was like, who's Angela? And she's like, CBD Dog Health. So I was so thankful for that conversation because I trust anything Julianne Lee is going to recommend. So it was perfect timing.
Good. Yeah,
So
I've known her for a while and have been able to help a lot of her animals with our CBD. Yeah, it's just her and I are a lot alike. What she concentrates on, what I concentrate on, and I am, all about hemp, a full spectrum hemp extract, which is cannabis, because it interacts with a master system that we all animals have, called the endocannabinoid system. So to me, it is the most important medicine and the base where we add all of the other adaptogens and other things to it because it helps everything else work better.
okay. Okay, well, let's back up. How did you get into any of this to begin with?
Did it help your cat?
Um, well, I think I've told you that I use a pendulum to test what he needs every day. And
Mm-hmm.
it's actually been swinging to that red one. Is it Ease?
Ease. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been swinging to that one and then the Mushroom Vitality one. And
Awesome.
yes, but I would say it's swung to the Mushroom Vitality one a lot more. And I'm very hesitant to tell people that I use a pendulum for supplements just because I don't want someone to just go buy a pendulum and start testing supplements for their cats. But yes, it has done really well. We actually had a very unique situation the other night. I'm working with a homeopath in the UK with Charlie, and he threw up a liver fluke. Yeah.
Wow.
And I went to the pendulum and asked what he needed, and it swung to another homeopathic remedy that relieves bloating and gas, which makes sense. And then it swung to your CBD that was it. And it was the first time it swung to the red one. And I was like, okay, I'll give it. So I was very, very curious. And I had a call scheduled with Julianne, but she needed to reschedule. But I'm so pumped to ask her about this to see what she says. So yeah.
Well, the red one has, specific strain of cannabis, but it also has that frankincense and turmeric in it.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing about frankincense and turmeric, and the reason I put them in there, is because they share some of the same compounds as cannabis. So they're super synergistic and super powerful when you put them together. It's
Okay.
called beta caryophyllene. It's one of the best terpenes, great for inflammation. And when you get those three adaptogens together, they're a powerhouse. So inflammation is, I know cats are always suffering from all kinds of inflammation, whether it be in their mouth or in their joints. So it is wonderful for cats and helps them so much. But how I got into this myself was because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis in 2015. and I was already living a pretty natural lifestyle. I'd already, tried to get all of the toxins out of my home and food and beverages and water and everything. So I was pretty like shocked when I got this diagnosis, but it's stress induced. It's an autoimmune disease. And the good thing about that is I gave it to myself. That means I could reverse it and get rid of it. So I was offered the pharmaceutical drug Humira, which is offered to most autoimmune diseases. It's already been linked to lymphoma, has horrible side effects. I was not interested in going down that road. And started to do my research and came across cannabis. And I had never really messed with cannabis, recreationally once in high school and maybe a couple times, but not something that I was a fan of. But I'll never forget the first time I tried a tincture, put a tincture in my mouth. I was like, okay, I'll try this. And literally felt the pain leave my body. I knew I was in pain, but I didn't know I was in that much pain because I literally felt myself go, and feel it leave. I was like, holy cow. Didn't feel high, felt amazing, could not figure out why. What is the problem with this medicine again? Why is this being held from? Why can't we have access to this? At the time I lived in Florida, it was still illegal medically. I had a kind of media company at the time where I had a magazine, a TV show, radio show, all about natural living for your family. So I just started to concentrate on that. I wanted to find out more and more. I met a group of moms called Canna Moms who were treating their kids' brain cancer, tumors, seizures. Became really good friends with a woman whose son had something called Dravet syndrome, which causes them to have severe seizures. And I'll never forget the first time meeting him, speaking to him, and him going into a full seizure, and her opening up her purse and taking out that same bottle tincture, opening it up, putting it on his gums, and within 20 seconds, I watched this child go from having a full blast seizure to sitting up within 20 seconds and speaking to me again.
Wow.
And I was just like, how do we ignore this? We can't ignore this. And I would just hear story after story about kids and families that were being helped by this medicine. So I decided that's what I was going to do. I was going to get into medical cannabis somehow, didn't know where I was going to land. I wanted to learn all about it. And I literally sold my business and threw myself into the industry, hired the best consultant in our country, and literally asked him to let me shadow him. So I learned everything from how to source seeds, how to grow it, how to grow medicine, how to do the extraction, what's the best way to do the extraction. And then in 2016, the University of Vermont School of Medicine introduced the first medical cannabis program for the study of its biology and therapeutic uses. And they contacted him, since he was such a big, person in the industry, and said, hey, do you know anybody? We want to have a killer inaugural class. Do you know anybody who would be a good candidate? And he's like, oh, yeah, I do. And that was me. That changed my life because that's where I learned about the endocannabinoid system and learned that all animals have the endocannabinoid system. I already had a rescue farm. I had bought a groom and boarding business. Animals were my thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take my two favorite things, cannabis and animals, and try to figure out how I can help them with this incredible medicine. So that's what I did. The first thing I did, I never thought in a million years I would be making products. I thought I would be more educating, teaching veterinarians, helping pet parents. But when I went out into the marketplace, there were no products in 2016. And if there were, they were human products that someone just took and smacked a paw print on it. And they'd have other ingredients that were not safe for pets. Dogs, for instance, we already have the research that shows that they have more receptors than humans do, so they're more sensitive to it. Even for cats, they're even more sensitive to it than cats are. So that type of information that most people don't know, and that it's not dangerous, that there is no lethal dose, that it cannot hurt them. The worst thing that can happen is that they might get a little high, but no damage, no permanent damage. And it really's number one action is to keep the body at homeostasis, to return the body at a homeostasis. this endocannabinoid system produces something called endocannabinoids, and it is responsible for all of our other systems in our body. So if we've got an issue with our respiratory system and we just deal with that without paying attention to the endocannabinoid system, we're never going to bring our animals back to homeostasis. So when this system doesn't produce enough endocannabinoids, there happens to be this beautiful plant called the cannabis plant that produces phytocannabinoids. And so it fills those deficiencies and brings us back to homeostasis. That's why it seems like it works for everything, because it does. It's literally this plant that's there to feed the system inside of us. So that's how I got into it. And that was 2016. I have no signs of my disease anymore.
Wow.
At the same time, the little dog that's on the dog version of Ease is my soul dog, Odie, who at the same time was diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy, and his disease also did not progress.
Really?
So, yeah. So
I've known a couple of German Shepherds with that, and that is not something that doesn't progress. Okay.
And I like to say, hey, you got a German Shepherd? I'd start a German Shepherd on a full spectrum hemp extract before they turn into seniors, just to help support them through it, because you really can reverse these diseases. And even if you can't reverse it, you are helping them tremendously with pain and reducing inflammation. It is what we need to realize about adaptogens, which is what hemp and mushrooms are. Adaptogens adapt to whoever's taking them. So meaning you take it, I take it, it's going to do different things. It's going to adapt to what we in our bodies need. So that's what makes them so beautiful and why it seems like they work for so much, because they do. The basis of all disease is in inflammation. And that's its number one job, is to get rid of inflammation, which means you get rid of the disease.
Yes. Wow. So did you move to Burlington for a couple of years for that degree?
No, it's all online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all online and very extensive. They actually have taken the program and broken it up into 4 different things now, sections. Mine was everything was in one section. It was the very first time. There were times where I was crying and didn't think I was going to graduate, because when it got into biology, it started to get really complicated. But there were some amazing teachers that really used some incredible analogies of showing and teaching you how it worked. And then being able to practice it. Once I learned it, I'm like, okay, nobody else is making a truly medicinal product for pets. I'm going to do it. I now know how to make it. I know how to source it. I know how to extract it safely. And the way I make my products are all human grade, meaning they are good enough for us and good enough for them. I take my doggies every day for my rheumatoid arthritis. So it helps so many animals. And the first thing that I wanted to know was, okay, how do I get veterinarians to start looking into this as an alternative? And I went to the Holistic Vet Conference. I'm like, what do you guys want to know about it? I'm here to teach you anything you want to know. And they're like, hey, we know that it works. We believe you. We just want to know what you're using it for. How do we use it in our cases? So I went back to my rescue farm and just adopted just about every senior, old, sick animal that I could get my hands on, and literally put them on a real food diet, weaned them off their pharmaceuticals or special shampoos or sprays and whatever it was, and brought every single animal back to homeostasis. And I'm talking MCTs, lymphomas, degenerative myelopathy, IVDD, dogs that hadn't walked for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
1 dropper of heel, and they were getting up and moving. And again, what are we doing? We're reducing that inflammation, and then we're letting that communication open up again, and the pain goes away, and they can walk again. So to me, it's like, yep, very simple. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yes. So. But do you think it comes down to the quality of it, or any CBD would work like that?
No. It's an unregulated industry. It's $1 billion industry. And there are a lot of bad players. In 2018, when it became legal in the United States at Global, what you went to, or Super Zoo, they're the big giant industry events. In 2018, when it became legal, there were like 40 of us that were had anything to do with cannabis or hemp, whether it was hemp seed, hemp oil, a full spectrum, an isolate, whatever it was. In 2019, there were 250 companies. And that's because the biggest manufacturer of bulk, broad spectrum oils manufacturer went around, had 150 representatives that literally went around to every booth and said, do you want one? Do you want it? It's going to be the biggest thing. You want it? Your kitty litter? Sure, you can have a kitty litter CBD oil. A lot of those companies are gone now, but it's to me, I was like, okay, good, they're all gone. You know, they were all gone within a couple of years because, of course, they don't work, but it gives all the people that are making real medicine a bad name. But now what's happening is even more dangerous. What's happening now is that people are making pharmaceutical drugs out of isolates from the cannabis plant. So CBD isolate is a pharmaceutical drug already and has already been researched and causes liver damage. So now we have, and it's not even like pharmaceutical companies are making these. We have people, there's a vet who's taking isolates, a very famous vet who's taking isolates and bottling them and selling them. And that is very dangerous. That's no different than a pharmaceutical drug because it has side effects. All pharmaceutical drugs are based on something found in nature, whether it be a food, a plant, or a mushroom. But you can't patent nature and make $1 billion off of it, so they just take one compound out or they isolate it. And that's what's happening now. So you can walk into a pet store right now and you can see my beautiful products and an isolate product. And it's dangerous. And they have it like at 2,500 milligrams of an isolate. That means they have either synthetically made a version of CBD or they've isolated it and just extracted just the CBD. That is dangerous. What you always want is a full spectrum hemp extract. And you always want to make sure that that product has a certificate of analysis, a COA. Anything in a bottle like this should have a COA. On all of ours, we put a QR code so that you can scan it with your phone. There's a batch number on the bottom of every single bottle that you can match this batch. And the reason you want that for your full spectrum is to not only make sure that it's not an isolate and you see that CBD, CBG, CBN, some of those other cannabinoids, including THC, that 0.03% THC. You're going to want to see that on there to prove that it's a full spectrum hemp extract. But the other thing that these certificates of analysis do is they make sure that there are no contaminants. So no solvents, no mycotoxins, heavy metals, anything, pesticides, herbicides. You want to make sure all of that is not in it also. And that's what that certificate of analysis shows you. So always make sure when you're doing a natural product that you have that third party COA. You can't find it, I wouldn't buy the product. I'd move on. There's too many bad players out there. And it's just one bad product that really could send your animal, into a bad situation.
Yeah, wow. Man. I should have asked this earlier before you went into that, but so do you have a farm where you grow your own hemp? Or
yeah. Yeah, we have several.
Hemp, right?
Yeah, we have several farms. Everything that we grow is in the United States. So including our mushrooms. So all of our hemp is in Colorado and our mushrooms are in Oregon, Washington, and Michigan. Our chaga is grown in Michigan.
Huh.
So, also the way we grow is very important. So mushrooms, to have those medicinal compounds that do all the amazing things that we have found in nature already. And mushrooms are so good for cats. They're so good for cats. They have to be grown on the right substrate. So just like we want to feed our cats a biologically appropriate diet, our mushrooms need to have a biologically appropriate diet. Most mushrooms are being, it's almost like call it factory farmed. They're being, they inoculate grain or oats with the spores and they eat up that grain, and then the mushroom pops its little head up, and they take that whole entire thing and grind it up and call it a mushroom. So, and that's what most mushroom powder products on the market are. So I like to stay away from the mushroom powders. I know Adored Beast does too. And she does. She has an incredible chaga product that she gets. Same thing. That just chaga, which is so incredible. Which is actually not even a mushroom; it's a canker. But a chaga mushroom has to be grown on a live birch tree, and most of chaga supplements are chaga grown on a grain. If that chaga is not growing on a live birch tree, it literally doesn't have bedulinic acid in it, which is the most important compound in that chaga. So that's what drives me nuts, is most of the products on the market do not have mushrooms in them at all. And if they do, they have very little in it. So knowing how to grow them the appropriate way, when to harvest them, and then how to extract the medicinal compounds out. A lot of people will just do a hot water extraction, which you cannot get all of the medicinal compounds out with just hot water. You have to use an alcohol extraction. So we do a hot water, a alcohol extraction, and then we do something called a spagyric, which is considered a triple extraction. So everything that is extracted out, everything that's left afterwards, the spent, we purify that and put it back into the tincture to make it a truly whole, full spectrum mushroom extract. So you're getting all the benefits out of it. And we do one other step on top of that, which is we remove the alcohol, because animals shouldn't have alcohol. Alcohol is bad for us, and it's bad for them. I like to say, alcohol tinctures, herbal formulations, they're more than 50% alcohol. So I always say that like a dropper in an animal's mouth is like us doing a shot of alcohol. Doesn't belong in our animals. They hate it. It burns. I don't know if you've put an alcohol tincture in your mouth. It burns. And it's not good for them. Dogs, I actually don't know with cats. I'll have to look it up, but I'm going to assume that it's the same. But dogs don't have the enzyme to break it down like we do. So it stays in their body longer. It gets stored in their fatty tissue longer. They do not metabolize it and get it out like we do. So alcohol is a big deal, and it never made sense to me why nobody wasn't doing anything about that. Because you put an alcohol tincture in your pet's mouth, it's going to be a hard time, especially catching that cat again and putting it in again, because they're not going to let you do it.
Right. I actually have done that, so I am familiar. And you would have thought I put fire in his mouth.
Well, it kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I have a wild yam one that is an amazing adaptogen that's great for women of a certain age. And I put it under my tongue and was going to go to my glass of water. I literally had to spit it out. It burned so bad underneath my tongue. So I'm like, I can't even imagine what it must feel like to an animal and what they're thinking you're doing to them.
Yes.
Versus an organic vegetable glycerin or coconut glycerin or flax glycerin is sweet to the taste. And they love it. And they don't run from you. And they don't avoid it if you put it on their food. So to me, I'm always constantly going, there's got to be a better way. I remember when I started this, I was like, I wish I could create something from scratch. I wish I could like invent something or be the first or whatever. And I'm like, everything's been done. Everything's been thought of in existence. No. Everything's been done at its cheapest, most profitable. How can I make the most money? Not being, how do I make the purest, best possible products for animals? And that's what I do. And there were a lot of people that were like, well, they're going to be a little too expensive. And I'm like, I don't care. I know I'm getting the very best. It's tested. It's true. I can trust it. And that's how other people feel. I realize, a lot of people feel this way. A lot of people want the best of the best. We don't want to try 3 things. We don't want the cheapest thing. We want what's going to work. We want what's not going to cause any harm to our animal. We only want to help them. And to me, that's an easy philosophy to stay with. I do no harm. I took the Hippocratic Oath like our doctors are supposed to take, and they don't. Medicine, pharmaceuticals, all have side effects. They're needed, they're important in our world, but they should be used for emergency situations and not long term. And if we do need to use them, we need to prep ourselves before if we can, and we need to detox and help rebuild our gut afterwards because they always cause damage to everything.
Yeah, yes, yes. I shared with you prior to the recording that I'm sick. My audience will know this, but Charlie bit me. I was really trying hard not to go get antibiotics because I knew what that would do to my microbiome. And I was explaining to my brother, he's like, so are you saying that you got sick because of the antibiotics? And I was like, no, I'm saying that the antibiotics killed everything. Let me keep my hand, which I'm grateful for. But then they got rid of all the good bacteria that would have fought the virus that I got. So indirectly,
Exactly.
yes, yes.
It would be nice. It'd be almost like give me the antibiotic and then hand me the probiotic or prebiotic that I can protect my gut and help, fill them back up after this kills it.
Yes.
Or better yet, how about we just use something that just kills the bad stuff and not the good stuff, which
yes.
exists.
Yes, exactly.
Silver hydrosol, one of my favorites.
Yes.
Oregano oil. Gosh, I could think of a couple, but it's tremendous. Also remember, most antibiotics come from mushrooms. So that's why you immediately told me you had an upper respiratory, and I was like, all right, take some breathe, because I know that the mushrooms in breathe are going to help you battle whatever that is.
Oh.
Because remember, they're just pulling one compound out of that mushroom to make that antibiotic. Imagine what you do when you have all of those compounds of that mushroom working towards bringing you back to homeostasis.
Okay.
So that's what I always like people to think about is, okay, maybe there is a way. Now with a bite, I probably wouldn't mess with that, but just about anything else I do.
Oh,
I walk around with silver hydrosol like it's my best friend.
Yes, well, I use Adored Beast on mine, afterwards, just as an extra layer of protection. But yeah, agreed.
Yeah, all of these like hemp 2, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-everything. Like they really are incredible what they can do.
Yes. Huh. So I suspect that there will be some people viewing this that are cat people and are like, why CBD dog health? How come, why is it not pet health? And can I trust to give my cat something that from a dog company?
Well, we do have CBD cat health. It has its own website and its own labels. Oh. Yeah. It's just most people know us from CBD dog health.
Okay.
Because that's what we released first. But yes, all of the dog and cat products are the same.
You just had to put on a different label.
Yeah. Right. That different label because cat people don't want to buy a dog product and vice versa. And with cats, dogs are actually, we have to be a little bit more careful because they're more sensitive to it, but not cats. Mm-hmm. We haven't had an issue with a cat. The greatest stories I hear about cats is that, and this is true, cats are great at hiding pain or anxiety, or they're just hiding away, or if they're fear, you don't know that. And I love hearing stories about people who, I'm pretty sure he was anxious, but then I knew it helped him because he came downstairs for the first time in his life, like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, where they're like, I had no idea he was that scared or whatever it is. So I don't know. I feel like every senior citizen, animal, or person should be on a full spectrum hemp extract. It's just literally there to support and help your immune system. Mm. It's getting rid of inflammation and pain. It's protecting the brain and the organs. So to me, you've got a senior, any type of animal or person, they should be taking a full spectrum hemp extract every day to just help them. And a combination of medicinal mushrooms, because those aren't going to hurt either. They're only going to help. Huh. But yeah, I think they're not cats and horses, I feel like they all need to be on it. It really helps them take the edge off and really gets rid of pain. Amazing for their oral health. It's going to get rid of inflammation in their oral health and all those antis I told you, the antibacterial, all that. It's going to do amazing things in their mouth. And one of my favorite things to do is to brush my teeth with my ease. When I'm traveling and I forget toothpaste, I'll literally brush my teeth with my ease. It's a beautiful way for your gum health, and it's going right into your bloodstream. So
Yeah.
awesome way to get it in there.
Oh.
So yeah, you got an old cat, you got a cat with a problem, adding a full spectrum hemp extract and medicinal mushrooms really does make a difference in their life.
Okay. So here's the one thing that I really have appreciated about using a pendulum, which has only been like, I don't know, maybe the last 9 months or so, is I'm always surprised. It isn't something like I would have chosen for Charlie because Charlie doesn't have arthritis. So I would have never chosen ease. Now, you had asked me what are Charlie's symptoms or whatever, and then you sent what you thought was appropriate. So otherwise, I would have never had it because I wouldn't have thought to get it. I would have gotten the blue one, which is what
Heal.
Because a good friend of mine uses that product and loves it, and it helps her cat's appetite, which she really appreciates. And I was like, well, this is interesting. And then on the mushroom side, it's swinging to vitality, and on your label it says for cancer and autoimmune disease, and I'm like, I don't think he has either one of those. So it's very interesting using the pendulum. But how do I, if I don't have a pendulum, select which one for my pet?
Well, and I've done my best, right, to take the pendulum is probably choosing that because of the combination. It could be that your cat needs the ashwagandha or the astragalus root that's in there, or whatever the specific mushrooms that are in there. I put autoimmune, cancer, whatever to kind of help it, but also vitality is what I would give an animal that has no issues because it has the biggest combination of mushrooms and adaptogens in one thing. So it depends. We kind of do our best. On the website, you can enter information, customer service information. You can call customer service and they can also help you. We also have veterinarians who do online telehealth, and practitioners who will coach you and help you through which to pick and how to use it.
Oh.
So it depends. Some of them are named that way. So for instance, the Breathe. The Breathe is the combination of mushrooms and adaptogens that have been proven in research to help animals that are having respiratory or cardiovascular issues. So that's why I put those combinations in here. But you really can't go wrong. I have people who are using the Clarity, which is, our cognitive blend for calming, or they are looking for a specific mushroom, or they're looking for Bacopa monnieri, which is an incredible adaptogen that, like lion's mane, has been already proven to regrow our telomeres, which is what deteriorates when we age and causes aging, regenerates neurons. It literally, I reversed CCD on dogs. I can't tell you how many times by literally giving them a combination of adaptogens and mushrooms. But could help another animal that is extremely anxious or stressed out, and they take the Calm, which is a full spectrum in lavender, and then take Clarity because of the reishi and lion's mane, which also is a calming. So you can't go wrong. They're all made the right way. They're all extracted the same way. It's just finding which one works best for you. And that's it. Same thing happens when I go to the holistic vet conference. All the vets come by and muscle test all of our stuff. And I've never had a bad muscle test. And I really think that it's just like pendulum. I really think it's because of the care that I put in sourcing the seeds, how I grow everything. My farms are biodynamic, regenerative farms. They're incredible farmers who have like fought Monsanto to keep them out of their county and not touch their water. They're non-GMO, the entire county. So we're diehard. I think that when you do stuff like that, that's why you constantly have good results. That's why you're always going to have a good result from a muscle test or whatever it is, because every detail I have paid attention to.
Yes.
You know, there's a right way to grow things.
Yes.
To get them to be filled. You know, mushrooms, for instance, are an incredible source of vitamin D, and we're all lacking vitamin D. And literally, if they're grown and have exposure to sunshine, they are packed with vitamin D. So all those nutrients. I have a t-shirt that says mushrooms and cannabis will save the world, because all of those nutrients that we're missing now in our soil and our vegetables and fruits don't even have these. Mushrooms and hemp literally are fulfilling all of those needs that we're depleted of in our food system.
Wow. First of all, thank you for being a good human and caring about that kind of stuff. And then thank you for creating CBD dog and cat health, so that our feline, whatever, canine companions can benefit from that. Oh, I love being sick because it makes me even dumber sounding. Gosh. So what are like the most common pet issues that CBD products can help with? You've mentioned a ton, but I just want to make that question more.
Inflammation, old age, seniors, that's when the problems start happening. It's my belief, I lost my first dog because I took her to my conventional vet back in the day when I was not, I was more ignorant.
Yeah.
And trusted the person in the white coat and did everything that they told me to. So I want people to know I ain't judging, and I was there. But I think what happens with a lot of people, our pets are great. Their immune systems are working pretty good. And then they start having diarrhea or they start throwing up for some reason, and we run to the vet. And that's literally where shit goes sideways. Because what happens? They're always given. And I say this, and I'm saying always, because I have done so many consultations. I have read and answered so many emails and messages from people. And why I say always is because this is what seems to always happen. They're given an antibiotic and a steroid because they don't know what's wrong. Our doctors aren't taught about diet and nutrition, and they're not even taught about the master system in our bodies that we all have called the endocannabinoid system. So they're limited. They're taught how to write prescription medications. And that antibiotic and steroid may calm something down, but they're not fixing the problem. They're masking the symptoms, and they never get to the root cause. And then things just get worse. And if we stay on that antibiotic or steroid, we're literally turning off the body's innate ability to heal itself. So shit never gets better. It gets worse and worse. You go back, now there's pain, now there's a pain med added. And that's what happened when I first lost my first dog. Antibiotic, steroids, and then multiple pain meds. And that's what she was bombarded with. I'm sure I was even recommended some special stupid science diet or something like that. And $15,000 later, and a year later, my dog was dead. I even got an autopsy, and the only thing they found was IBD. So this is why I feel like don't run. You can run to the vet. Just know that you have options that they're not going to tell you about, and that there's always a way to handle these things holistically, meaning we're working with the body and not against it, and we're taking the whole body into account. We're doing no harm, which absolutely is possible, and the way I have been practicing medicine for 20 years now with incredible success, where I've taken what convention can't do and been able to take them completely off of it and bring them back to homeostasis. And I'm talking about dogs filled with cancer. I'm talking dogs who can't walk, or cats that are on death's door. Cats who've stopped eating for days, and we give them one dropper, and now they're feeling great and eating again. they need it. It's a necessity, and they really need it. It's Mother Nature provides us with all the food and medicine that we need. And
Yes.
again, emergency medicine is very important, but it's not the go-to, and it shouldn't be what we're giving our animals. We shouldn't be handing out steroids and antibiotics like they're candy, because they cause a lot of harm. And a lot of doctors are using them on a long-term basis simply because they do not know what else to do.
Right.
We weren't taught anything else to do.
Yes.
They get out of school, and this is why I love my holistics, is because they continued their education. And then they learned about diet and nutrition and acupuncture and chiropractic and herbs and traditional Chinese medicine. These incredible medicines have existed for centuries, and they worked. They're not the alternative. They're the original medicine. But again, they use plants, food, mushrooms, and you can't patent those things and make $1 billion, which is why pharmaceutical drugs exist.
Yes. Now, I will say that my vet, when, I've talked to her about these sort of things, so Charlie will be 16 next month, and I switched to her when he was 11. And so I went to a very conventional vet and had a very bad experience there at the end. And that's why we left and we went to our new vet. And she's more integrative. So she does the conventional, but she also does holistic. And I explained to her, I'm like, if you know the holistic, like, how are you still prescribing steroids? And she's like, because Jenny, there are many, many pet owners that are not like you. They want a quick fix. They want in and out. They don't want any more diarrhea. They don't want to find the root cause. So it is dual-sided, and even for someone who does have the knowledge, which is unfortunate. So I guess I'd like to comment on that, like for you to comment on that, if you don't mind. I assume that a CBD product isn't going to fix diarrhea overnight.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I want people to have, proper expectations.
Right. And you know what? It's probably not going to fix the diarrhea at all. What it's going to do is it's going to get rid of pain and inflammation that the diarrhea is causing. The mushrooms now will fix the diarrhea. Mushrooms, my God. Mushrooms are an incredible functional food and an incredible functional medicine. Actually, so is hemp. Hemp seeds, incredible functional food. But mushrooms, both of the fruiting bodies of the mushrooms and then what we can extract out of them, incredible. But mushrooms, if we can eat 3 grams of mushrooms and even feed them to our animals, meaning we go to the farmer's market, we go to a Sprouts or a Whole Foods where we can get organically grown mushrooms like lion's mane, maitake, shiitake are the best. Chop them up, cook them up in some grass-fed ghee, and feed us and our animals 3 grams. It feeds the gut microbiome for 13 days. It was a beautiful piece of research. So literally every 13 days, you and your animals cook up some mushrooms. I'm actually trying to create a product called Gut Food, that it's a food topper so that I can just eat them every 13 days.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely repair that gut and bring that gut back to homeostasis by feeding mushrooms and by taking their extracts. It is incredible what they do for our gut. We should be eating them and taking these extracts every single day. They're so good for us. So yeah, mushrooms will fix that diarrhea. Absolutely.
Okay.
But remember that hemp is going to get rid of inflammation, get rid of any pain, discomfort, make them feel better, bring back their appetite, help them sleep, do all of the other things, but not necessarily get rid of the diarrhea. I think the easiest way to get rid of diarrhea is stop eating. Stop feeding them. Let the body heal itself.
Yes.
Give them the mushrooms and the hemp and let them heal themselves.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of fiber or pumpkin or, whatever that is, but don't run to the vet.
No, not for diarrhea, unless it goes on for way too long.
Right. Exactly.
But if I can't get it resolved in like 3 days, then I think something more major is going on. what made you get into the mushroom thing? Like, how did it lead from CBD into mushrooms?
Great question. When my Doberman got diagnosed with osteosarcoma. So when she got diagnosed with osteosarcoma, I was a practitioner actually for another mushroom company, and I was using their products. And I started the deep dive because I wanted to know how much of these mushroom extracts do I need to give my Doberman to prevent this cancer from spreading. And so I did all that research, then went back to the products that I was, using and going, I have to put 6 capsules in her food or down her throat. Or if I used a pouch, had to use a half a pouch. And that was 1 mushroom, and I was giving her 8 mushrooms. So it was ruining her food. She wouldn't eat. I couldn't have her not eat. I was only feeding her once a day. Like, it was a night. I'm like, what am I? This is terrible. This is not a therapeutic dose. I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to make mushrooms now? So I actually went on the hunt to find a person who truly knew what they were doing, just like how I learned what to do with cannabis. I was like, let me find that equivalent in the mushroom person. Found him. He is a myco-alchemist. That's where I learned about the spagyrics and the triple extraction. And then I had him make me my tinctures for Nina. And I also said to him, like, all your stuff's in alcohol. We're going to buy this big piece of machinery and remove the alcohol. Removing the alcohol takes a lot of time and money and energy, and that's why nobody does it. It's because it's too much. We do it. So I created it for Nina first, and literally my products were done a year before, almost 2 years before I released them, because I was just using them on my animals at my house that I was trying to save and help. So Vitality was created for Nina, and Breathe and Clarity. Breathe was created for my soul dog, Odie, and Clarity was created for Miss Daisy, one of my rescues, who cleared her of her MCT, exploded her tumor, got rid of her tumor, got her using one of her back legs that had gone lame again, and then I lost her to dementia, which I don't think people know how you die from dementia, but it is terrible. You lose your ability to remember how to eat and drink. So I was watching this 17-year-old dog get up real slow, walk over to the water bowl and just stand there, and then go back and lay down, get up and do it 4 times in a row. And it wasn't until my partner said, I think she has Alzheimer's. That's because his dad died of Alzheimer's. He's like, you literally forget how to eat and drink. And I was like, I got to do something about this. So not only did I create Clarity, and not only have I watched dogs go from experiencing sundowners to it going away, sleeping through the night, not, do I have to go pee? Do I have to go drink? Like, this is a very common thing that's happening to our old animals. All of that completely goes away. And now I just did my first piece of research, which is also very expensive, for this past year, proving this. We had 50 dogs over a year, and we actually hired a retired veterinarian who has been doing research for pharmaceutical companies for 15 years. We're his first natural product, and he has said he's never seen anything like this in his entire career. He told me, this is going to blow your mind, Jenny. He told me, I just had him on my podcast. He told me that when pharmaceutical companies do research, they're basically just making sure nothing changes. They're not making sure that the drug works or that it does anything. They're just making sure it doesn't make things worse. That's all that he does in research for 15 years. I was doing research to prove to all the people that don't believe it, look what I could do with 15 animals on a real piece of research. On 50 animals, look what we're able to accomplish. So, because I get to hear it all the time. What's the research? Where's the proof? Well, where's the proof with the pharmaceuticals?
Yes.
Because I could show you all day long those, side effects. But anyway, that blew my mind that's what research is done. And it's true. Same thing. The National Animal Supplement, Council, the NASC. They just make sure that it's not going to hurt the animal. They do not make sure that it is effective, that it's a therapeutic dose. So that's how I ended up creating mushroom products. Had no idea that, the place that I was working from before, they grow everything in China. Everything comes from China. And the reason that they were saying that it came from China is because China is, where it started, where mushroom medicine, is basically discovered, but also says that it's too expensive to do here in the United States and Canada. And that's not true. I'm doing it. I'm doing it here. Also, didn't make sense to me. Why is a extract out of a mushroom, which a mushroom is 85% water, why is it a powder? Well, because do you think it's cheaper to ship 55 gallons of liquid extract from China or a powder where you can also hide all kinds of things, which they do, and it never gets tested, right? So it's all about the money and how to get it cheap. They also do something called spray drying, which puts the liquid through a gun that adds other ingredients in it as a fluffer or a binder. And again, I'm now on this new deep dive of read the ingredients, and read them all the time, because that same Chinese product that I'm talking about and its inactive ingredients had something called microcrystalline cellulose in it. You know what that is?
No.
Sawdust. It's a fancy word for sawdust. Why am I going to give my animal with cancer sawdust?
I don't know.
No. So,
oh my gosh.
Reading those, and that same company now, I'm assuming because of the tariff threat or whatever, has added 2 more ingredients to its inactive ingredients. So that's why I say read the labels, read the ingredients, understand the ingredients, and do it on a regular basis, because, it's really shitty, some of the things that they're sneaking into, and into our supplements too.
Yes.
85% of supplements worldwide, including doctor and veterinarian supplements, are inactive and don't do anything. And some actually cause more harm. I'm pretty sure if there is sawdust in a capsule that you're giving to an animal every day, there's going to be repercussions for that sawdust. It's going to disrupt that gut.
Yes.
Your body doesn't know what to do with things that it doesn't recognize. When you alter them or isolate it or mess with it, and then what it does is that it causes the body to work overtime. The liver literally goes, what the hell is this? I don't recognize what this is. And sometimes we'll work on it to try to metabolize it. Sometimes it'll give up, send it back into the bloodstream, comes back around again. And do you know what it does when it gives up? Stores it in their fatty tissue. That's why our old dogs and old animals have these lumps and bumps all over them. Yeah. In people, it's in our waist where it gets stored. And it's because the body doesn't know what to do with it or how to get rid of it. And then even if it does and it sends it out, through waste, it's still it's sawdust.
Right. Yeah.
We don't eat sawdust. We don't eat sand. Why is it in our medications?
Yes.
Silica is sand.
Yeah. Right.
Fillers, cheap fillers, instead of having to put that medicine in there. So it's a lot to find the good stuff, but we should find the good stuff. We should do it, because if we don't, you're going to lose good companies. You know what I'm saying? If nobody knows how to do their homework and nobody requires COAs and nobody does that, then you're never going to get that real pure medicine that we all need and want.
How do you, while you were talking, I was thinking, the first day at Global Pet Expo, I was like, this is great, this is fun, this is great. By day 2, I was so depressed.
Uh-huh. Me too. I can't even go anymore.
Okay.
I'll never forget walking in and seeing the gigantic Bayer, sign. In the middle of the biggest exhibit ever. I'm like, why is Bayer here? Oh. That's when you start going, oh, they control everything. And then guess what? When there is a company that is making a big impact, they go try to buy that company.
Yes.
And when
Yep.
you tell them no thank you, they start to bully you and
Uh,
threaten you.
oh.
It's happening to me now. It's been
Mm.
happening to me since that company that I told you about, since 2024, has launched a cancel campaign on me. And it's not fun. And I'm just like, wow. I never thought that a little old me would be that big of a threat, but I guess I am. I'm a disruptor now, just by purely not accepting that that's okay in our pet stuff. No,
Yes.
not okay with me. I'm a holistic. Go ahead and put that in your shit, but don't call it natural and holistic,
Yes.
because now you're greenwashing. Go do whatever you want, but stay the hell out of our community.
Yes.
That's how I
Which I
feel.
don't think people realize that anybody can slap natural and holistic on. There's no regulation to that, correct?
None. I
Yeah.
have a holistic veterinarian right now teaching people how to be holistic pet health coaches, teaches them how to make their own food, and then sells a product to make it complete and balanced that you throw on top. And it is all synthetic vitamins and minerals.
Mm.
All of them. Every single thing. And it's literally called Holistic Total Body Support. Standard process. Same thing, has a product called Total Body Support. Same thing. They're throwing synthetic isolates and ingredients in there, and that is dangerous. That has repercussions. What happened to me is, I've been doing this for so long, is that all of a sudden there's this trend, right, where I've got all of these people who understand real food. They know what pet food brands. They're either making their own food and understand holistic health, but they're still not able to bring their animal to homeostasis. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? This is what's going on. These shitty supplements with these terrible ingredients in it. Or they do think they're feeding a food that doesn't have any of this in it. And it does. It's a raw or a freeze dried, but they've used synthetic vitamins and minerals in it. And why'd you do that? Why'd you mess up a perfectly good thing by throwing that chemical on there?
Yeah.
So people are learning. I'm just going to get louder. I'm just going to keep on talking about it. And hopefully more of us will go from just blindly trusting that person in the white coat to taking it into our health and our animals' health, our family's health into our own hands. We have to do our research. It is nobody else's fault if something happens. It's ours.
Yes.
And we're here to protect them. We're their advocates. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Trust me, I have some incredible holistic veterinarian friends, that I can text and call at any time. But my two seniors that I have right now, I haven't had to take them to a vet for I was literally trying to count it, over 12 years now.
Wow.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Is that it should be that way. We should go, oh, diarrhea? Okay, I do this. Oh, let me do this. Not run and blindly put my pet's health into someone else's hands.
Yes. Yeah. So you don't do blood work or anything?
I haven't had blood work. I think I am going to have blood work done, but no, I haven't even had blood work done on my last two. They, because they're so perfectly healthy and wonderful. One of them, I don't even have to brush her teeth or do anything with her teeth. It's so perfect.
But
awesome. If I were to have an issue or something, I would get blood work. And if I did, if I was still in Florida, I always would go to Veg, which was a emergency place that I loved because I knew the owners and could walk in and go, I just want my blood, get the blood work done. This is what I want done, get it done, and then send it to my trusted holistic to review it.
Oh.
So yeah, do that if you need to. Because it is hard to find a true holistic, but they do exist and you can do telehealth with them.
Yes. Yes. Which is lovely.
I know.
Yeah. Huh. All right. So do you normally have people, do you usually suggest that people have their pet be on the CBD and the mushrooms at the same time? Or
I think they're both. I think they're great. I think if you've got a senior animal, absolutely.
Okay.
If you got an animal with any type of issue, health issue, then yes. Because what adaptogens do is support the body's innate ability to heal itself. So yes, if you got an animal with a problem or a senior animal, absolutely, I would be on a full spectrum and a combination of mushrooms every single day just to help keep them healthy and at homeostasis. If not, then you can use it for certain problems, whether it's anxiety or pain, or if you do end up with a disease, they're extremely beneficial. And the beautiful thing is that if you do have someone who's integrative or even conventional still, these can be used with those because they're only going to help. There's literally drugs, a THC drug that gets prescribed to chemotherapy patients now to help them with pain and appetite and those types of things. So that's what I love about adaptogens. You can never overdose on them. You can never give too much. As long as it's a pure one, you got a COA and you're dealing with a pure product because they're adaptogens. The body's going to take what it needs. If for some reason you gave too much, it's going to get rid of it. So you really cannot do wrong. That's why I love practicing with them. Because I can't cause any harm.
Yes.
I do no harm. I only help. And it's possible.
That is lovely. What are there any new products on the horizon? You mentioned one.
Yes. I mean, I have so many formulas in my head. Yes, I was about to release like 16 new tinctures. I'm not doing it now. I had to break up with the new manufacturer who was going to do it with me. But I have a ton in my head that I would love to release, but I just feel like there's so much education that I still have to do on letting people know, because it is holistic and natural is a trend. And I thought we were good, but now I'm seeing isolates come out into the marketplace, which are very dangerous. And so what? It's another threat against mushroom and hemp products, because people are going out and buying them, using them, and they don't work. And it's because they're not true products.
Yes.
It's not regulated. So there are a lot of products on there that aren't potent enough. Are broad spectrum, meaning they've taken the THC out, which is CBD and THC are the two major cannabinoids, and they have to be in there for it to work. We have our main receptors, our CB1 and CB2 receptors. CBD doesn't even bind to the CB2 receptor unless THC does first. So a broad spectrum product, useless. Isolate product, dangerous. Actually has been proven to cause liver damage. They had to stop the study because so many humans were having irreversible liver damage from taking a CBD isolate. And there are CBD isolate products sold online and in pet stores that are, and I remember the research, I want to say, was like 1,000 milligrams of isolate. And these products are 1,500 and 2,500 milligrams.
Oh my gosh.
And people go, I even asked a store, why do you have this? How did they sell this to you? And they said, oh, it's odorless and tasteless and it's clear. And so it's much easier to get CBD into your pet this way. It's not CBD.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
Pay attention. I don't want everyone to run out and buy the first thing. You got to do your homework. You got to check that COA on these natural. If it's in a bottle like this, anything that's in a bottle for human or pets, you need to make sure it has a certificate of analysis from a third-party lab. Otherwise, that's the only way to prove what's in this bottle. I could put anything. I could put root beer in here and tell you it's medicine.
Right. Or just vegetable glycerin that doesn't taste like anything but sweet, and they love it. Yeah.
They love it. And that's what I always say. People will always go, I did this. I'll go, what are you doing now? Well, I'm doing this, this, and this. And I'm like, and is it working? No. Have you seen anything different? No. Then stop using it.
Yes.
You will know. Within hemp, you will know within 12 hours if it's helping. Mushrooms, you will also either know immediately or within a couple days. you will see a difference.
Why do people always say that like your cannabinoid receptors have to be like built up if you can actually see it in 12 hours?
No, opposite could happen. If you have a severe deficiency in your endocannabinoid system and you take, you may even have like a high situation.
Okay.
So, no, you don't have to build it up. What you're building up is your tolerance. So that animal or that person that has a severe deficiency takes something and then feels, oh my God, maybe a little high and whatever. That is a severe deficiency. So they're literally being flooded. What you're doing there is building up their tolerance. So let's say you gave that to an animal or a person and they were like, got high. We would reduce it. So we would go down to maybe a quarter dropper and do a quarter dropper for a couple days, then a couple days go up to a half a dropper, and then do that for a couple days, and then build up to a full dropper. But that is the worst thing that can happen, is a high. And the high is not a bad high. The animal literally gets static ataxia, which also happens from pharmaceutical drugs, and they just get a little wobbly. It's not anything scary. It's not like an opioid or a pharmaceutical where it affects their heart and their breathing. It does not do that. So the fear needs to be removed because you cannot hurt. It's called LD50. There's no lethal dose. They actually did a piece of research in 1973 called the Rosenkrantz study, where they literally wanted to see how much THC it would take to kill a person. And of course, what do? They tested on animals like they do everything. So they gave rats, chimpanzees, and beagles 9,000 milligrams of THC, which is ungodly and unheard of. 2 rats in their sleep regurgitated and choked on their vomit and passed. No beagles and no chimpanzees died. The chimpanzees, within like a couple months or weeks, I can't even remember, metabolized it and weren't even acting high anymore, which is the same thing happened to me. My Doberman I told you with osteosarcoma, I was giving her 10 milligrams of THC every single night. It did not hurt my animal. It did not kill my animal. I had to give her no pain meds. It was bone cancer, and I was completely able to control the pain with that THC. And I prevented the cancer from ever spreading through the rest of her body for 2 years.
That's fantastic.
Broke records on a geriatric Doberman. All natural. Not a single conventional, didn't even amputate her leg. So these are things that I know I'm talking a lot and it sounds like a big talk, but I've practiced it and experienced it myself, and now have over 100,000 pet parents who are using the products, where they're sending me pictures and us pictures of, got rid of my dog's melanoma, my dog's walking again, did this, did that. I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Because you can't hurt them. So
Right.
Why not try it?
Right.
It's going to help them one way or another.
Yes.
Even if you're on the fence and you're still not sure you want to go completely holistic, still add these things so that you can see how much they can help.
Yes.
Try them yourself. You're feeling achy, you're in pain, you got a viral something or whatever, take it, because I love having people tell me, what the hell is in this thing? I had a scratchy throat, took that thing, I'm better, everyone around me is sick. I'm like, mushrooms are incredible.
Yes, I literally have thought to ask you to pause and like go take some like during this call. So I will be taking some when I go back upstairs. That's awesome. I can
tell when I don't take the clarity. I take the clarity every day, and I love telling the story that I'll use words that I've never used before because I either thought I was going to mispronounce them or use them in the wrong context, and now I'm using them. Oh. And I'm like, there is something, going on in there that's like, yep, use this word. It's crazy.
How much do you take?
I take a dropper full.
Okay.
So all of my products, a dropper full is what was found in research to work for most animals. So it's kind of like the average of what should work. Some animals need less because they're more sensitive and we need to build it up. or some animals may need more because they just need that extra support. So like Nina, who had osteosarcoma, she did 3 full droppers of Vitality every single day. And she got horse ease in the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night we gave her the heal with her THC. Because what balances, if you have, and I love to say this, if anybody goes to a dispensary and gets a cannabis product and takes it and they get way too high, the best way to dampen the effects of THC is with CBD. So I would give her CBD with the THC so that she wouldn't experience side effects so much.
Okay. Cool.
Which she had none. First night I didn't do that. She peed the bed. Second night I had the CBD. She never peed the bed again. So it was a beautiful thing.
You think she peed the bed because she had a killer night's sleep?
Yeah, kind of like it's urinary incontinence, so it is a side effect. It's a side effect on a lot of pharmaceuticals also. But yeah, I think she's just so relaxed that they just peed. But it didn't happen from then on out. It's funny because I tell the story that her bed was a very expensive restoration hardware chair. So I was like, I gotta fix this problem now.
Yes.
And it did. It stopped it, and she never did it again. I mean, 2 years of this, she didn't even look high anymore.
Huh.
And she was on 10 milligrams, which is, like a gummy or, a human dose. And she didn't even act high anymore. So
oh my gosh.
It definitely makes an effect to do that.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. I wanted to ask something else, but my home phone ringing that never rings distracted me. Well, it's interesting that you ended up, you started out thinking I need to educate all these vets. I didn't think I was going to create my own product, but you are still educating with your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, every day educating. Yeah. Because like I said, it's getting worse. Now we got isolates in. Yeah. Any day now there'll be pharmaceuticals, with more mushrooms and cannabis and isolating them, whatever. So I just feel like I need to constantly, I don't teach nearly as much vets. It was really something that I focused on in the beginning, but pet parents are going to use it, try it, and then they're educating their vet. Yes. When they're back a year later with their dog that they were given the prognosis of 4 months, and here's the dog alive and well and doing fantastic. And the vet's like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
And they tell them. I thought my phone would be ringing off the hook. I thought it'd be going, yes, this is Angie. Yes, I'm the one that created the product that got rid of the cancer that you couldn't get rid of. Want to know how? I'd be happy to tell you. And that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No.
So I thought I'd be invited to speak at vet conferences and show my cases because I've got them all documented in the protocols and everything that I did. One tumor exploded after another. Like, watching the body kill a cancer tumor is impressive and awesome.
Yeah.
Cancer operates through 12 signaling pathways. And each of those pathways do something, from the cell turning from a normal cell into a cancer cell, from it getting together and forming a tumor, from it sending out a blood supply and attaching it to its veins so it can feed itself. All of that are different pathways. Cannabis has been proven to interact with 8 of those 12 pathways, and often more ways than one. So it stops the cell from turning into the cancer cell. It breaks that tumor. It cuts off that blood supply so that it no longer can feed itself. It turns our regular cells into natural killer cells, which then go find cancer cells and kill them. And then also another pathway is autophagy, where those dead cancer cells that it kills, the body removes it. So all of these, 8 of the 12, you add these adaptogens and green tea and these other things, and you are literally interacting with all 12 of those pathways. And cancer doesn't have a chance. And often it's more than one thing in the pathway. So it can block an action, it can decrease an action, and it can increase an action if it needs to. And this is all happening in our body without us knowing it. And these plants and mushrooms literally interact with it and help it work and remove the cancer from our body.
Wow.
I've done it several times on animals. Nothing more fun than to go to school, learn something, apply it. Okay, this is how you make it. This is how you source the seeds. This is how you grow it. This is how you extract it. This is how you bottle it. This is how you dose it. This is how you give it. And this is what's going to happen. And that's exactly what happened time after time again, including myself, including my rheumatoid arthritis. 10 years. I should have some crooked knuckles or something going on.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing.
Wow. Amazing. My neighbor across the street has rheumatoid arthritis, and her fingers are like that. Like, it's nuts to me.
It is.
So
it's crazy.
It's amazing.
There's
I
a
want to
means.
wrap this up because I need a break. I'm coughing too much, but also because we spoke about hopefully doing like an interview focus on CBD and then an interview focus on mushrooms.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You're okay. I mean, if you would be willing to come back, I would love to do it again.
Sure.
So, and then I have a new thing that I'm finishing with. And I should have asked you this before we started recording, so sorry to put you on the spot, but we can always edit it out. I like to ask people, what is a pet product that you can't live without that you don't make?
The silver hydrosol.
Okay. You already mentioned it, so we're good. Okay.
No, seriously, if I had a tool belt, I'd have my hemp, mushrooms, and silver hydrosol on my belt, man. It just... you got an eye injury or an eye scratch, or they get something in their eye, or you don't know what happened to their eye. You can even spray it in their damn eye. It can go on their teeth. It can go in their ears. It's literally my favorite antibacterial. That's all natural. That's not going to set everything off. You can put it in their water. On my farm, used it on all my, my chickens, my ducks, my geese, my pigs, everybody.
Yes.
So that's probably my favorite.
Okay. Well, good to know. I've only used Adored Beast version, and I know that you can overuse it.
Yeah, but it takes a lot. And you could overuse it, and it would have to be a badly made product. But if you stick with the Glacier Peak, the Adored Beast, and Sovereign Silver, which is the original, the Godfather, the man who did it, you stick with those three. I would only stick with those three brands. I'm sure there's others out there. I just haven't vetted any others. Yeah. But it is my absolute favorite for that reason.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
You bet.
Thank you for being here. There is a giveaway going on Floppycats right now for June 2025. If people are watching this later on, I don't want them to go and be disappointed, but I will include a link to your website in the description of this video. And is there anything that you wanted to say that I did not ask?
No, if you like listening to me rant about natural things, I've got a podcast, Your Natural Dog, and everything I talk about is also on my website, Angela Ardolino. So a lot of my protocols are there for now, because I just got my first FDA warning letter, and they are wanting me to take down all my educational everything. So you will see different labels and things taken down. But my podcast, I talk about everything and share everything. And I also love to have, other experts on it to get us even more information on how to raise our animals holistically.
Yes. Okay. Well, I will include a link to your podcast and your website, so people can access it before you have to take anything down.
I'll find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might create a Patreon or something where we can be in our own little world. That might have to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good idea. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to finally meet you and talk to you.
Yes, same. Bye.
Bye.